big game tomorrow night. They're all big games at the moment, aren't they? But a victory takes you within 3 points of Manchester City. There was a lot of excitement, wasn't there, on Saturday night? Not just following your win over Norwich, but come the final whistle at Manchester City when Tottenham had won. A lot of Liverpool supporters were getting very excited, saying the title race is back on, win every game and we win the league. I just wondered how you feel. How did you feel at 7:30 on Saturday night?
And it's the truth, I was on the way home when it was 2-1 Tottenham. Then I arrived at home and didn't follow it anymore because I was sure they equalized anyway. Then I had to. We went out, and the driver was very excited and told me that it was 2-2 and then 3-2. And when I said 3-2, I thought, okay, City won 3-2, and I said no, Tottenham won 3-2. And oh, that was my reaction. So because we have for us nothing changed really. We have to win. You're right. We have to win all our games, which is
Manchester City win all theirs.
Yeah, but I think you can expect that, or we expect that. Traditionally, historically, it happens more often than not that they win pretty much all their games. But okay, we play them once. That's the one game we want to win, definitely as well. So, yeah, of course, if it would be 12 points, 15 points, whatever, it would be a completely different situation. But for the game now, it doesn't change too much, or nothing changed actually. And that's why we have to be 100% focused on just this one game, because we cannot win the game and the league and everything in one game. We just can have to try to make sure we win a very difficult Premier League game. Because Leeds United, obviously, you saw all the faces of Leeds United, I would say, on, when was it? Sunday, oh, right, we have now Tuesday. So, on Sunday, with very brave and very exciting offensively and go with everything they have, and then defensively, yes, if you you can cause them problems, but it's difficult as well because of the man marking all over the pitch system. It makes it really tricky. If you're not really in the game, then they will eat you, just like that. And that's why it makes it's so important that we are ready for the next very intense game. I think Leeds is pretty much leading in 3 of the decisive running stats in the Premier League, not all over, but then high-speed running, behind 10 runs and all these kind of things, it's Leeds, and you have to be ready for these kind of runs all the time. And they never give up on top of that, so whichever they have really spectacular results, high scores and all these kind of things, both directions, and yeah, we really have to make sure that we are 100% spot on.
You were in a good position on Saturday to be able to make 7 changes for that Norwich game. How hard is it for you not to be thinking of what lies ahead in terms of team selection, given your next 3 games are in 3 different competitions? Will tomorrow's lineup give us a pointer towards Sunday?
Ooh. Well, I didn't think about it, so well, you can probably, if you no, I didn't, because the one thing I learned over the years, and I do it now already for a while, is it does work for me to have 2 games or 3 games in my mind. We have to try everything for this game, and that's what we did against Norwich. We made the changes for the Norwich game not because of the Leeds game or the final at the weekend. We made because we needed the fresh legs and intensity in this game, and some players were ready for a rest as well. So that's why we made the changes, and that's exactly how we will do it now. There's no chance that the Premier League is the Premier League, and you cannot say I rest and it's somebody for the final or whatever. For me, it never worked out. If you try to rest one and bring it on after 60 minutes and he gets a knock in the 65th minute, so what's the point? No, we are actually, that's not, I have a few things to sort during the week, but I don't even try to think about the game after the one we are really in.
Bobby Firmino and Diogo Jota, Jota's probably itching, isn't he, to get fit, given what he's done in this cup run. I know it's a league game tomorrow, but any chance of us seeing them tomorrow first of all, and then what chance for the final?
No, for tomorrow, no chance, and then the final we will see. I really don't. I don't know in the moment, but it was easy to say now, no. But yeah, we will see.
They'll be pushing, won't
they? They are, but yet they were not on the pitch, so for training, so that's not a good sign. And we have to see what we can do with the boys in the next few days, and then we make a decision later in the week.
Thanks, Alan. We'll go to James Cooper for PLP for 2, and then Juliet in the room from BBC. James.
Hi, Jürgen, nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
And I think the fans believe they're in a title race. I think us in the media believe there's a title race with 2 teams. How do you feel you're now back into a proper title race?
How I said, it's what do you mean with a title race? We have so many games to play, and yes, if we could win them all, it's a title race. So if not, then it's maybe not a title race. I don't know exactly. I'm not too much into it. I understand it 100%, that people get excited about it. Good, because the distance is now not completely, or they are not completely out of reach anymore, but it's anyway a really tricky situation. And I never prepare press conferences, I have to say, but today I can tell you I didn't think a second about the title race. I just thought about Leeds when I came in here, but you could ask about them. Yeah, I know, usually you don't ask about the opponent, we talk about all the other stuff, but I'm obviously naive enough to still think about the next opponent, and I cannot give any kind of, I have nothing to say about it really. I'm really happy about the results we had in the last few weeks. They obviously brought us some points, some confidence as well in different competitions. That's really good. But a minute after the Norwich game, it's over, and we just have to think about Leeds. And there are so many things that can happen in football, and if you now just think about it, and everybody thinks, oh, now we are close and only 3 points. No, it's 6 points, and we play Leeds. So I'm just not made for it. I cannot count points on our account before we played the game. If other people do that, that's okay, because they are not directly involved, but we have to be ready for an incredibly intense game and a big fight against Leeds United. They fight for staying in the league, and if you can say one thing about this team, they really, really, really never give up, and that's what we have to make sure that it will not help tomorrow night, but between now and then, sort of work to do.
But let me be polite then and ask you about Leeds United, because I think their first game back in the Premier League was at Anfield, and an amazing game, the 4-3. Did you expect that kind of level from them again, bearing in mind what we talk about their intensity and them not giving up?
Not exactly the level, because they miss a few very decisive players for them. It's Patrick Bamford, it's obviously Phillips and Cooper. That's pretty much the spine, and we know, or I know what I'm talking about, how much this can hurt you as a team if you lose these kind of very decisive players. And I think in their best periods, all these boys could play pretty much through all the games. But I expect exactly the same attitude, and it's actually the result we had that night is pretty much how Leeds is. They play all in, and we won that night. But that's now not that's not the case because we are Liverpool and them are Leeds. It's just because we scored one more goal that night, and that's what we have to be ready for. They really, how's that? If you watch them, you know it. It's like this. They had a difficult spell around December, in this late December, I think, when they got a few knocks, but that's over. And since then, the results got much tighter again. And the Aston Villa game, for example, was again a really spectacular one. Villa thought they might be through, and then they were not, because Leeds came back. United played a really good first half, 2-0 up, and then you come out and, if you went for a drink in half-time, then you probably missed the 2 goals of Leeds. And yes, United could turn around again, but it's a really tricky one. And I know that, and I have no problem with it. I hope that we, as a unit, again, together with our supporters, will be really difficult to beat. that's what we have to do. If we are difficult to beat or difficult to play against, then we have a good chance to win the game. But that's first and foremost the job to do for all of us, that we are really on it and give our absolute everything, because it will not be decided because a little bit football here or there. If we are not ready for a fight, we will suffer.
Thank you, James. Good to see you again. Juliet, for one in the room, and then Chris from Merseyside, BBC Merseyside, I should say, on the Zoom.
Jürgen, in a way then, you referenced just then the performances of Leeds against Aston Villa and Manchester United. Has this game fallen nicely, the rearranged game, because the squad, the availability that you have now, you're in a good place, the momentum that you've got as well, and coming out of winter, does that make any difference to when it was supposed to be played on that Boxing Day?
No, I think we were all right on Boxing Day. We had our COVID crisis came a bit later, if I'm 100% right. I don't know it exactly anymore, but it was that I can remember that I didn't think, thank God we don't have to play it. I said again that it was not our problem. Was not the 26th to play it, or not at all. I'm not sure. I would like to have Bobby and Diogo available. So that will not happen for tomorrow night. So it is like it is. We never. Honestly, you don't really think about fixtures, and when they come up, you just get at one point to get information and you prepare for it, and that's the same here.
Thanks, Jules. Chris from Merseyside, and I think that's it for the Open. Oh, Chief Neil, did you have one? Chris.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi.
Luis Diaz's goal, it came at the end of a 34-pass move. Just how satisfying is that as a manager to see such patient possession end up in a decisive pass and a great finish on the end of it?
Very, very satisfying, and it's a sign for something else as well. It's like that in a moment, obviously, the two goals we scored before opened up the game for us. Obvious knock for Norwich, proper boost for us, and these moments are really rare because you have to work so hard to get any advantage in a football game. But if you have it, then we are obviously able to do some really nice stuff. So it is, with all the 33 passes before, I loved each of them. The last one of Hendo was pretty special. But what you saw then, how the formation of the opponent, who looked over all the other time during the game, really well organized. But in that moment, obviously, with all respect, they were a little bit all over the park, because we just there was no last line, nothing, and a big gap in the center which Luis used, and it was because of the movements of all other players. That's how football can look. Unfortunately, doesn't look that often because the quality of opponents. And Norwich made this mistake exactly once in the game. We used it then. In all other situations, they defended us much better.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Neil, did you want one? And then this is the final one in the Open, and we'll go to a brief breakout. Yes.
I saw Joe Gomez speaking after the game on Saturday, and he said he waited a long time to start the Premier League game. I think he said the challenge for him has been to be the best version of himself every day while he's waiting. How much is that an example to maybe other players in the squad who are in a similar position, having to be patient and wait for their chance?
It's a very good example, but a very special story as well. Because with the quality of Joe, it's really difficult. If I would Joe Gomez, I would be really difficult to deal with the situation, because the quality he has, because of the player he is, and everybody likes, if not lost, Joey. And then with a really difficult injury and a few things afterwards, and then getting COVID in a completely wrong moment when we have an FA Cup game and these kind of things. So it made it difficult for him to get rhythm. And I'm really happy about the performance. So I think it was the first goal where he was involved in a half space, nearly lose the ball, winning it back, and then pass the ball, and from there we go. I was really, really pleased for him. I'm pretty sure he was nervous. That's normal after that long time. Then on the position he likes maybe the second most, not the most, and was for us very important that he could play that, because Rashika with the speed was clear we will not go for Trent, not because of Rashika, but because Trent needed a break. And then who do you bring? And then it was really perfect to have Joey available. Yes, it's an example, absolutely. Like we have a lot of other examples, I have to say. So in a moment, I told the boys yesterday, the way we deal with different situations at the moment is really exceptional, because some players start who are used to be outside more often than others don't start, who are used to be in the starting lineup, and all of them, we all saw it the last 2 games, the changes we could make were massive, and the influence they had, and that's exactly how it has to be. And as long as we can do that, as long as we can use the squad like that, we have a good chance to win football games.